So why are we here in BNI versus some other type of networking event? Generally speaking, people go to networking events, they go to trade associations or networking events where people meet each other. When you go to those networking events, what do you get?
A lot of business cards.
A lot of business cards. Yes, you do. Buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. A whole lot of that. But the goal of the BNI group is different. Right? This group is not about buy my stuff. This group is about know me well enough so that you pass my name on to others so that you can give me referrals. So I don't want to sell to all of you. If I do, wonderful, but not the goal. The goal is to get into your worlds, right? So if I get into your worlds, now I don't get one sale, but I get 10, 20, 50, whatever that number is for the people in your world. That's our goal. Make sense?
Yeah.
So the goal is not the transaction. The goal is the relationship. The goal is not to sell. The goal is to get someone to give you referrals. Make sense so far?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the best case scenario in this chapter, what happens is one person hunts, 4 people eat. Right? I'm out there, I'm trying to close my deal, I talk to my client, and my client's saying, well, this all sounds great, I appreciate it, Larry, but by the way, I want to work with you, but I'm having some trouble right now in my own family, and it's kind of slowing me down. Trouble in your family? Yeah, a little bit, really. Talk to Julio. Boom, all of a sudden referral comes. Right? Now Julio talks to him. I was talking to Julio, over to Julio, and he says, yeah, one of the things is, I want my son to leave, to get out, to get his own place. Boom, referral. Get his son a rental. And not just that, I'm going to move my business. Boom, referral. All of a sudden, 4 people ate off of one person hunting. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's our fantasy. That's our best case scenario. Well, how do we do that? Well, we do know that we refer because right person, right job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Not even close.
Not even.
Not even close. We refer for 3 reasons. Because we know someone, obvious. Because we trust them. Critical piece, right? Critical piece. Now, what if Julio wasn't the right person for this man? What if he wasn't the right person? Would I refer Julio anyway? What if I don't know? Yeah, I would because I trust him. And I know that if he's the wrong person, Julio will do the right thing.
That's right.
He'll pass it off, he'll say no, he'll change it, he'll tell me. I trust him enough, he'll do the right thing. So even if he's not the right person, I'll still pass it because he'll take care of the guy that I give him. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So trust is critical. I gotta be here enough to know you and trust you. I pass that referral. The third piece, I gotta think about you. I gotta think about you. If I don't, I'm sitting in front of my client. My client says, oh, I'd love to work with you, Larry, but I'm a little bit, worried right now, my family. I go, good luck with that, write me a check, done. That's all I do. I get my clothes, I walk away. I'm sitting on the Ford train going, oh, you know what, that might have been good for Julio. Oh, well. I didn't think about it. I've got to think about you. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
So know, obvious, but trust and think about. So what can we do in this room to make sure that we are known, that we are trusted, and most importantly, that we're thought about? First thing, there's 3 things I'm talking about today. The first one is commercial. You got to be here and give your commercial. Now, I'm going to tell you how you want to give a great commercial. Most important things. I want you to stop telling people what you do. It doesn't help. It doesn't help at all. We all forget. We don't remember. Now, people have said many times, this chapter is your sales force. You've heard that before, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's your sales force. It's not true. It's not. I don't expect you to go sell for me. You sell it for yourself. This chapter is my introduction force. And that's a nuance, but that's a critical nuance. Because if you're my sales force, if I'm going to sell you, your construction company, what must I know about your company?
A lot. Everything.
Everything. I'm going to sell your company. I got to work for you for 3 years before I can sell your company, right? I mean, I got to really know what's going on. I got to have experience in your field. It's not going to happen here. But if I want to introduce your company, what must I know?
His name and what he does.
Not what he does? No, that's not going to help.
Who he
What
is.
does he do for somebody?
I'm sorry?
What he can do for somebody?
Bingo, exactly right. I've got to know what he can do for someone. I've got to focus on this question. Who do you help and how? Your commercial must focus on that question. Not what you do, not your credentials, not how long you've been in business, not where you're located. No one remembers, nobody cares. They can't remember anyway. But I can remember a good, interesting story or a benefit you provide. I can remember that. Local Law 11, I'm gonna remember that. That's a benefit you provide, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm gonna remember. If I hear that, oh yeah, that's Wayne, Local Law 11. I can introduce you. Do I have to know where you're located or how many employees you have? No, I don't have to know that. I go Local Law 11, he takes care of it. Now I got it, I can pass a referral. Does that make sense, everybody? So when you're giving your commercial, take that time to say, here's who I help and how I help them. Now you might say, but Larry, I can help a lot of people. I'm sure Wayne do a whole lot more than Local Law 11, right?
Yes.
Whole lot more, right? Absolutely, of course you do. But I want you to focus on just one thing every week. Because if you listed all the things you did, I'd remember none of them. But Larry, I want to make sure I get every single thing I do and I got to get it all out so people know. We forget it all then. You fail. This is BNI. You're going to be here every week. It's okay. You're going to see me many times. It's okay. Focus on Law 11 so I can remember that. I'll tell you something else. Don't change your commercial every week. Instead, do that same Local Law 11 commercial 2 or 3 weeks in a row. Why? Why would I do that? Why would I change every week? What's going to happen if you do it 2 or 3 weeks in a row?
Remember.
We'll remember it. I hope I'm teasing you. Here's Local Law 11 again. I hope that happens. What a great thing that would be. I remember your commercial so much, I'm teasing you. Wouldn't that be good? Do it for 2 or 3 weeks, then change. Do someone else you help. Talk about renovations or damage from the hurricane, whatever you do, right? Bring up that 2 or 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. And get everyone to get that. They'll remember it. Referrals will come. Does it make sense? In your commercial, focus on who do you help and how, not what you do. Get us to remember you so I can pass that referral. Second piece. When you're doing your one-to-ones outside, talking to people, right? We do this all the time, I hope, right? I hope we do, right? We meet other people. We sit with them, have lunch, coffee, drinks. This is not the time to focus on when you grew up and how many dogs you had. You can talk about that if you want to, it's fine. But you want to focus on 2 things. The first one is success stories. Focus on telling people the success stories that you've had. Focus on that. If you focus on that during your one-to-ones, your meetings, what do people start thinking about? Yes, success and other people who might match that, right? When Hula, you start telling me about, there was a couple and here was the problem they had, and here's how we worked on it, and here's what they did, here's what they got. No, I'm talking about the couple, not you. Hula's not gonna say, I'm so awesome, look what I did. He's gonna say, no, look at this couple and what they got. I'm gonna start thinking, I know couples like that. Huh. I remember, yeah, I do know couples like that. I know who did this, who did that. And all of a sudden now, I've got referrals. So I'm focusing in here on who do you help and how. And I'm focusing outside on success stories. Make sense? Do you have time for one more?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Time for my last one. I'm sorry, timekeeper, I've been bad. Let me go one more. Now I'm going to ask you to focus on one more thing. The people you bring in here. The visitors you bring. Now we often focus at BNI on bringing in visitors who can join. That's nice. I like that. But I'm actually going to not do that. If you want to be able to give good referrals and get good referrals, I want you to bring someone else here instead. Bring your prospects and bring your customers. If you want good referrals in this room, the people you should be bringing as visitors are your prospects and your customers. Bring them. Think about this. You got someone who's been talking to you. They've been thinking about using you, they love you, but they haven't committed yet. Invite them to dinner. First off, if they say no, who cares? You got a reason to talk to them and say, hey, let's talk without saying buy my stuff, which is always good for a prospect, right? You talk to them without saying, you ready to write me a check? Hey, I got a benefit for you. Come on, my BNI chapter. Come visit. Come for one evening. Come for one meeting. Great. What if they actually come? What if they show up? Then what happens?
You get to hear how great you are.
That's exactly right. They get to hear people go, yeah, Keith, he's awesome. You can say his commercial again. People say, yeah, Keith's my God, love him, he's awesome, he's the best. They get to hear a bunch of that. They start thinking, why am I not saying yes to this guy? Why am I not saying yes to this guy? But more importantly, everyone else sees who your prospect is.
That's right.
Everyone else in this room sees who your prospect is. And they go, that's who Keith was talking about. I know guys like him. I know women like her. That's who he is. That's who he's looking for. So bringing your prospects will help you. Bring your customers here. Even better. What are your customers going to say? Keith's terrible. No, he's going to say, Keith's awesome. He helped me out. He's a great guy. So now you get good testimonials. He is wonderful. But also, we all see who your customer is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The last thing you can try is bring your vendors here. People who service you. Bring them here. Why will they show up?
Because they want your business.
Yes, because you pay them. That's exactly why they'll show up. Yes, you pay them. They're your vendors. Yes, they will show up. Now, when the vendor comes here, what's the vendor going to say?
Look at all these
They're
other
gonna,
people.
they're gonna say nice things about you.
Of course they are. They're not going to say, oh, Rebecca, terrible, I hate her. They're not going to say that. You pay them. And she's the best thing in the world. Love her. But the vendors also show you who's the referral source for her. Does it make sense? Shows you that also. So think about bringing your prospects, think about bringing your customers, think about bringing your vendors, who you bring here to get more high quality referrals for yourself. This is being selfish, isn't it? But it's okay. Be selfish for a little bit, it's okay. Right? Bring these people here, help the chapter out, you'll gain more referrals. When you're out there having your one-to-ones, your lunches, your coffees, your dinners with your people of this chapter, focus on success stories so they can hear who you help in their heads. Remember, that's who I can refer. Perfect. And lastly, when you're in this room, and you give them your commercials, focus on who do you help and how, and repeat that commercial at least twice in a row, preferably 3 times in a row. Focus on one at a time and change as the weeks go on. That's going to help you in this chapter to get better referrals more often. Any questions about that? Have a great night.
Thank you.